Good afternoon to everybody. Special greetings to His Excellency the President of the Regional Government of Azores and all officials present here. I'd like to congratulate again the organizers of this fantastic event, Richard Garriott from the Explorers Club of New York and Manuel Vaz from the Expanding World. I think this fantastic event, GLEX, comes to an end, and it leaves a wave of joy, of excitement, of wonder, and of passion. So in the last days, we have seen that GLEX is a huge platform to share experiences, adventures, to share as well the thoughts and the visions for the future of a lot of people. And we have seen the astronauts, the scientists, geologists, biologists, explorers, adventurers, just sharing this type of experience. And I think GLEX flies above the geopolitics, is a place of unity, a place of cooperation, a place to look to the future. And we desperately need this type of platforms in the very difficult world we are living in. The second point I would like to stress, we start this conference in Lisbon, and it ends here in this fantastic archipelago of Açores. In Lisbon, we could felt the echo, the resonance of the Portuguese explorers that left the Torre de Belém in the 15th century and reached each continent in the world, connecting peoples, cultures, continents, and inaugurating the new era of globalization. And today, the conference ends here in Açores, and Açores is a wonder of the world, is a paradise of natural capital, is an archipelago that will play a role not only in the investigation and research of the ocean, but interaction between the ocean and the space. And I think here, with the help of all of you, we can continue to build and consolidate what the regional government of Azores and the government of the Republic is trying to do here. Azores, don't be mistaken, is one of the best places in the world to study interaction between the oceans and the atmosphere, between land and the air. And we are developing here a cluster, not only for the investigation on oceanography with the Air Center, it's also the spatial port in Santa Maria to launch the satellites. And across that, we will develop a new generation of satellites, the constellation for the Atlantic, with 8 new satellites, plus the 8 that Spain is building as well. And if we want really to fight the climatic change, which is the most impressive existential threat that we are facing as a species, we have to revigorate and re-stimulate all these research programs. And we need desperately your help, the CEOs, the companies, the corporations, the scientists. And why? Because if we can build this cluster here, we can understand better with what is going on with the oceans. In the last days, we have seen the news from the space, the fantastic adventures, but also the concerns on the status of our oceans. And don't be mistaken, there are today 1 million species in the oceans that are threatening of extinction. We are facing the 6th mass extinction in the history of this planet. The 5 extinction of species that the planet experienced before, the human race was not here, but now we are the responsible. The last extinction in mass of species happened 66 million years ago, when an asteroid coming from the space just hit the Yucatan Peninsula in Mexico. The history of this planet is written in its sediments. And if we visit today the Chicxulub crater in the peninsula of Yucatan in Mexico, we can understand what happened 66 million of years ago. And we have to avoid and prevent this new extinction that is going on. And for that, we need to understand the oceans. We need to understand the changes that the climatic system of the Earth is experiencing. And for that, we need you, we need the scientists. Only science can provide answers to the very difficult situation we are facing. and is the human cooperation. We as a species, they have the duty to protect the oceans, to protect the planet, and to look to the future. And Azores, I am sure, will play a critical role on all this process. And just to finalize, as we are here in trying to share ideas with this fantastic community of explorers, I am passionate for the history of our planet. And sometimes when I look to the planet and also to the space adventures that all of us witness and that are going on, I have a fundamental question. It's a mystery for me. There are three major planets in our solar system, the Earth, Mars, and Venus, that are quite similar. From the beginning, they had a volcanic activity, they had CO2, they experienced the same process. But billions of years ago, something happened, and we are the planet of life. Mars and Venus till now don't show any sign of life. And if we are the planet of life, it's due to a strong combination of geological variables. In the nucleus of the Earth, the core is in fusion. We have the iron core with the rotation of these radioactive materials like uranium and thorium, and they are the secret of the life in our planet, because this rotation creates a strong magnetic field, and this magnetic field protects our species and the other species from the lethal radiations that come across the space. But at the same time, it protects the oceans. And what happened in Mars? The nucleus of Mars has cooled down along its history. The magnetic field is not there. And maybe the oceans of Mars were just blown up to the space. They vanished totally. They were blown by the solar wind. This does not happen in our planet. We have this fantastic gift, and we are spoiling our oceans. And if we compare with Venus, Venus, as James Garvin well depicted, Saturday, it's a very bizarre planet. And all the atmosphere has CO2 in a supercritical state. And it seems, from my limited knowledge, that in Venus we have a strong greenhouse effect. All the CO2 is not recycled, just accumulated. The temperature is huge, and maybe life is not there. So the explanation for this mystery, for these three major planets that are located in the zone that is called the habitational zone, or zone of the life of our solar system, is something that has puzzled me, and we need also to respond to that. Why? Because in my dark nights, I think that the Earth can become Venus if we adopt a wrong behavior in our planet, and we allow that CO2 is not recycled, the CO2 is accumulated and is spoiling all the climatic system, the fantastic climatic system that we have in our planet. And finally, all of us, I think we are passionate as well for science fiction. And Isaac Asimov, in one of his fantastic novels, The Last Question, and the last question was, when he was projecting the life billions of years from now, the question was, we will be able sometime in the future to revert the expansion of the universe and prevent the dying of the universe. And in the novel, the supercomputer, the central supercomputer just answers to this question, saying we don't have enough facts today to ensure that this is possible. And what happened in this fantastic novel? At the end, the human beings were reconverted in something like beings of energy, and being beings of energy were flying and visiting all the universe. And so, here we are in our fantastic planet, traveling in our galaxy, and we know that they exist more than 100 billion galaxies in the universe. Each one of the galaxies may contain more than 200 billion stars. And we continue our journey, traveling and asking ourselves, like in the plot of Goethe, Faust asked, is it God that has written this plot? And I think the explorers in the future will respond to that, because the explorers are the keepers and interpreters of the secrets of the universe. Thank you very much.